We get it. You're not in your 20s anymore. It's an unfortunate fact of life. We all wish we could continue training like we were in our 20s, going hard every day. But it's an unfortunate fact of life that we can't do that our whole lives. So the topic of this video is our top tips for the ageling athlete out there. But first, let us introduce ourselves. I'm Dr. Kevin.
I'm Dr. Nick.
And we're osteopaths here at Premier Sports and Spinal Medicine. And the topic of this video is our top tips for the ageling athlete out there. So, tip number one, and probably the most important tip I can give everybody out there, is making sure you get enough rest and recovery between sessions. So, as we grow older, our ability to recover decreases. It's unfortunate. So, it's really important that we pay attention and focus on our body and make sure we get adequate sleep in between training sessions. This is so that you can not only recover from your training sessions, but also recover from the rest of your life stresses as well, such as work. Another alternative and a tip is, if you don't want to take a complete day of rest, you can do something called an active recovery.
That's a good one.
Yep. So what that means is that rather than taking a day when you do absolutely no exercise at all, you can tone down the intensity a little bit and go and practice something such as your skills or technique. So for example, maybe you spend a day going through practicing your ball skills or going through technique sequences if you're a martial artist, or maybe just spend a day doing some low intensity cardio. Another good alternative is, which you probably should do, is making sure you spend a day doing your prehab and rehab exercises, which you always seem to be putting off.
Yeah, definitely get stuck into those. A big thing that happens as we age, especially after the age of 30, is that we start to lose some of our muscle mass, which is huge for dealing with the forces of gravity and life in general. So every year after the age of 30, you lose 0.5% of muscle mass year on year, and then every year after the age of 50, that goes up to 1 to 1.5%. So between the ages of say 30 to 70, you might be losing 30 to 40% of your muscle mass. So if you're not actively doing anything to build muscle mass or keep what you've already got, you're going to get much weaker as you age. And if you've lost 40% of your muscle mass, as I said earlier, just dealing with the force of gravity, which isn't going to go anywhere anytime soon, is going to be much harder for you, and you're going to be in a lot more pain, and your mechanics for whatever you're doing is going to suffer a lot. So that's a huge one that you need to keep up some strength training as you age. It's really important. The other thing, as you age, it's a good idea to just work on your general fitness, or what's called also your general physical preparedness. This would just be doing non-specific training, such as running, walking, swimming, cycling, or bodyweight exercises. So it's more about building up your general stamina, endurance and strength rather than anything too specific. The good thing about this is it makes you a bit more well-rounded in your fitness, and it will also prevent overtraining. So if you were doing the same thing the same way every day or every other day, you're loading up your body each time and you're giving those tissues less rest. So if you're building it up and building up your general fitness, you'll be more well-rounded and less likely to get any of those overtraining injuries, which is a lot of the reason people come in to see us. Another thing that's super important, as Kev said, you don't stay 20 forever, unfortunately, and when you were 20, you probably could just smash yourself and pretty much do whatever you want. As long as you're getting rest, you're going to be okay generally. As you're older or as you age, you need to start to taper and cycle your training intensity. So if you've done 6 to 8 weeks quite hard, it's a good idea to take 2 weeks just to really focus on some of the skill-based stuff, drop the intensity, give your body the love and the rest that it needs, and then get back into a more intense period, say after that 2 weeks tapering.
That's true, that's some good tips as well. So those are our top tips for the aging athlete out there. And for those of you who don't feel comfortable programming your own training program, then give us a call, book in with either Dr. Nick or myself, and we can help guide you through your training program to make sure that you can stay injury-free and make the most out of your training program. And if you have any questions, leave a comment down below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See ya.